Child, it is beautiful outside. I don't know where you are, but it's absolutely beautiful. The birds are chirping. Um, can you hear that? Hello, tribe. Welcome back to another video. I'm trying to speak as loud as I can because folks can't hear me, even with the microphone on. My voice is not projecting for some reason, so I'm going to try to push it out so you can hear me. Hopefully you can. We're back with another video today because it was necessary. As a follow-up from yesterday's video, it's going to be a two-part video. So the first part is going to explain yesterday, why did we have that post here on our channel, what's going on there, is it alluding to something else, and two, the second part of this video is going to be about women, the relationships that they have with the other women in their direct line, their direct bloodline, talking about grandma, mom. Now if you feel it that you want to move forward in this video and go straight to that part, I do not mind. You guys are coming here to get what you want to get, and I get it. So go ahead and move forward if you need to, okay? Now let's go back a few steps. All right, yesterday I posted a video of a young lady explaining the relationship both her husband and her have created. And she explained it in detail. She explained how it started. She explained why she decided to, to experience the that side of life. Some people call it open relationships, or open marriages, and and so forth, and believing in it's a whole bit, but there's a whole world out there, right? The purpose of this video is not to rehash exactly what happened in her video, which she explained eloquently. Okay, I also put a link there for you if you wanted to learn more about her and read her story. I provided it in that link. Okay. But I want to talk about the complexities of relationships, which a lot of people don't like to talk about honestly. Perhaps one, because there is a lot of us are rooted deeply in our religious beliefs. Me, of course, coming from an Islamic background, there's in order for me to be as peopledom. I am a very peopledom person, right? I meet people where they are. I've learned to do that not just in my healing business. I have to meet people where they are, but I do that quite naturally. That the elder does quite well. That I'm very proud of. In the teachings of the Return of the Divine Feminine, Psychological Realms of a Traveling Gypsy, and the final installment that is going to be dropping in about 9.5 weeks. The Return of the Divine Feminine is on a 6.5 week advertising campaign right now. And so by the time the new people get introduced to the Return of the Divine Feminine, my readers here who have been following me will already be on to the next installment or the next lessons. In the Return of the Divine Feminine, the elder gently exposed to us that we could not throw all men in one bucket, right? Where the world was seeing men as one way. Men want this, men want this, men want this. The elder said, ho, 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 you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Not every man wants a quiet, demure woman. There's some men who want a woman who's extremely exciting, all right? Not every man wants a shy woman. Some men want a woman who's outgoing. So while the rest of the world was throwing all the men in one dirty bucket, the elder said, how dare you? No, 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 no. The elder said, wait a minute, you're doing it wrong. Here is the remedy. So I'm very proud of that. I'm proud that in the village Eden, we said to the world, what are you doing? We said to the world in our writings, absolutely not. That is not correct. Do not throw men in one bucket. because then you are ignoring the individualities of the soul, the individualities of the person. When you are saying all men want this and men want that, you are negating the fact that men also have experiences and conditionings. I'm proud of that. I'm proud that we introduced that to the marketplace. And did we do our research prior to that? Yeah, Lord. So it feels good knowing that we introduced to the world a conversation that was not being had. There is the honeybee, there is the boar, there is the goat, there is the penguin. We said that in a gentle way, and we fed it in a small teaspoon. Here's just a taste. And in this final installment, we're saying to the world, well, hold on, that's just one part of the story. Here is the full meal. All right? And I'm extremely proud of that. Extremely proud of that lesson that we gave to the world. Men are not one way. There's some men who are flashy and gotta be out front and need a microphone and they need this and they need that. They have to be everywhere. They have to be up front. They got to be the belle of the ball, so to speak. They have to be out front all the time. They're loud and most times wrong. It's the honeybee, all right? Then you have the boar, okay? You have the boars, cool, calm, and collective, right? They're not all the same. And so the elder says, I gave it to you so that you can digest just a small piece of it, all right? But here is the final installment. Here's the full plate. The opposite side of that is the woman, right? Yesterday's video, we showed a woman who went to her husband and said, I believe I might be bisexual, all right? She didn't go to her husband and say, let's have an open marriage. She went to her husband explaining what her sexuality was, all right? And that she wanted to explore that. This is not a do you agree or do you disagree with open marriages. That's not my say. What I'm simply doing is introducing the world to what is really going on, okay? What's really going on. And whether we agree with it or not, it gives us the right, once we can see it for what it is and understand it for what it is, it also makes us a lot more comfortable with our own decisions, all right? I'm gray as all get out, and I'm completely okay with it, you know? I might be gray, but I jump out of airplanes, that ain't too gray, all right? I might be gray, but I fly airplanes, that ain't too gray. But we get to really live in our truths as they are. And that young lady got to do that with her husband. And they both decided within their union, within their marriage, how they were going to live it. And kudos to them and all the others that decide how they want to live. Right? I find that when you get a honeybee and you marry her to, I don't want to go too deep because that's coming forward. But if you match that woman up with the wrong person, you're going to have a man who is constantly seeking asana. Do you guys remember that? What did the elders say? Men are constantly looking for a higher level of asanahood. They're looking for a higher level of asanahood. For each woman they encounter, they're looking for a higher version of that thing. It's almost as if they're trying to return back to the place into which they came. Those are my writings. I wrote that. That is the expression. All right? So, we have to be honest with that. There are some basic human behaviors that the elder teaches us about, all right? Basic across the board, because it's rooted in biology, okay? Is it hard to digest that another woman says to her husband, I would like to see you with another woman? The elder says, identify your target, know who he is. All right? Here I am with a voiceover because it got too loud there for a moment. But the point that I'm driving home from yesterday's video and today's is in the Return to the Divine Feminine, the elder outlined how women were to see the target. In this new book, she's showing the men how they can see theirs. What this young lady was an example of on our channel yesterday is that not all women are the same. You understand? Just as well as we have the honeybee, the boar, the goat. What I find in dating information now is a lot of it is generalized, okay? And not only is it generalized, but a lot of that comes from the person's own experiences. And I knew that if I was going to write fully in the spirit of Elder Eden, that I could not be wrapped up in my own understandings and my own experiences. I had to be able to come out of the Karima mindset in order for me to give a more accurate depiction of human behavior. Okay? And so I was able to do that, and I'm proud of that. More than anything, I'm proud of that. Now, for me, I think I've explained it briefly in that video. I've never been a really jealous woman. I think I had, and this is crazy that I know this, I remember having one experience where I knew that it wasn't a jealousy. It was, I remember thinking, oh, there's nothing I can do against that. That's natural attraction. That's something that it didn't matter who I was, that I cannot mess with that. That's a whole, did I bow out? Heck yes, because I have a unique way of thinking. I know that is kind of unique, but I've never really had a jealous experience where you're like, why are you looking at that girl? Or, why are you looking at her? Don't talk to her. I've never had that experience. And, perhaps it's because of my religious studies early on in life, my experience as a monk, that might be part of it too. So there's never been a real attachment to anyone, or let's just say I've never loved in that capacity, because that was brought to my attention before too. Perhaps you never loved that crazy. Well, no, I love madly. I just don't believe that it makes sense to love crazy, right? I don't want to go to jail because I love you. That doesn't make sense to me. Plus, I'm a really logical person. So, anyway, I've never really been that kind of, sit down, love me, you gotta love me. Love me or love me not. But I didn't want that message to be in the final installment of the book. What I wanted to do was honor that there are some women who love that way. There are the beggars out there. Remember we talked about the beggar? We talked about the investor. We talked about those things. The woman who says, I believe in you, let me help you. Let me help you. I want to help you, let me love you. That woman is out there too, right? There's not, all women are not like, let me take from you, let me take from you. There's some women who says, let me give to you, let me give to you. And I wanted to honor that in this final installment here, that you guys will learn in the next 9.5 weeks. There are plenty of women out there who are givers, just as much as there are plenty of them who are takers. There are some diabolical ones. There are some sweet and soft ones. The elder is saying there's enough people for everyone to find who they are looking for. The trouble is the packaging is not right. And so the world gets wrapped up in how the thing is packaged without looking at the behaviors. The packaging is not right. The behaviors are. And so you miss out on something really good because it's not packaged the way you thought it should be packaged. Maybe the woman doesn't have a 25-inch waist and a 52-inch hips. I don't know. I'm waking up something here, okay? And hair all down her back. But perhaps she's a really good mother, a really good communicator. Perhaps she can make $1 out of 15 cents. And you miss her because you're not paying attention to the behaviors of the woman. You're paying attention to how it's packaged. All right? Now, I believe I'm done with that part, right? I've explained why we posted yesterday. Yesterday, these birds are beautiful. I'm back with another I'm back with another voiceover. It got really loud outside again, and I wanted you guys to really hear the message from today, okay? And that is that in the Return of the Divine Feminine, the elder laid out for us the honeybee, the gold, the boar, etc. Okay? This is the final book from Karima McGee. Final book. No more coming, all right? This is it. In this book, not only is she going to explain in further detail the boar, the honeybee, the whale, etc., but she's going to explore his counterparts. All right? Hence why you got yesterday's video. Hence why it's important for you to understand that if you don't vibrate on the message that was sent yesterday, that just means that's not who you are. But there are women out there who are. Okay? There are women out there who are. Those who color outside of the lines, who are seeking more color. All right? Those women exist because the honeybee exists, the boar exists, the penguin exists, the goat exists. In the next book, it will all make sense. Yes? Good. The second part of this video was supposed to be a review of a video that I saw. It was sent to me. It was a young lady on a TV show. I'm not sure if it was a TV show or what, where she was expressing herself in her relationship with her grandmother. And I want to share this video with you guys just very briefly. But before I do, I want to say this. I told you guys in The Return of the Divine Feminine, women, research your mother, her mother, her mother's mother, and her mother, and there you will find your bloodline. Know your pedigree. Those are my words, right? Women, research your mother, her mother, her mother's mother, and there you will find your bloodline. Know your pedigree. The reason why I did that, and it's an explanation, and there's some work that a lot of people are skipping over because they want to go straight to, I want to get a man. Lord knows how do I attract him? What color do I put on? What fragrance should I put in? All of that stuff that matters only when you do the work beforehand. Once you start working out your own kinks, finding out the power that you're seated on, all right? When I say seated on, I mean your bloodline, okay? You have to know that first, right? Once you figure out all that stuff, then you can move into the other lessons. On your sonhood journey, you must take your time. It's not a race, all right? You're going to get there, but you have to take your time. So all that is explained to us in The Return of the Divine Feminine, all right? We get a chance to see that in The Return of the Divine Feminine. Understanding our grandmothers, understanding our mothers, so that we can understand ourselves, all right? This video broke my heart because it is a young woman and her grandmother. The grandmother, unfortunately, cannot see that the young woman is a woman of her own, trying to make it through the trauma that the grandma has put her through and the trauma of her life in general. The grandmother can't see it. You know why? Because grandma sees her daughter in her granddaughter. She cannot see the granddaughter for the granddaughter. She sees the granddaughter as her daughter. I'm going to play this clip. You and I will be back to chat.
You talked to me about her mother who died in a car accident in 2012. I want to know, what was your relationship like with her?
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do nothing for her because she was running the street. I had to take care of her damn children.
Is that why you're so protective of Zanaya?
I'm protective of each and every last one of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, her mother, I was trying to be protective over her, but she was being hard-headed and went out there and passed away because.
All right, before we even get into the next clip, I had to stop right here. The language that's being used right here. Just one thing I want to point out is that age and eldership are two separate things, okay? We can get older, and if we don't heal the trauma or deal with the trauma or deal with the issues that we have, we can become older people who are living from that perspective, okay? Keep that in mind.
I told her not to do something, not to go somewhere, even my husband.
Yeah.
So.
Now that was a mouthful. This is a woman who has taken on the responsibilities of her child. So her child left her with the responsibilities of raising her children. And so there are a lot of grandmas that can relate to this. Oh my God, where I come from, so many kids grew up living with their grandmother. It was very common to see kids who live with their grandmother or call nanny. Nanny has always been mom, because maybe mom left and went with some guy across town, or unfortunately got stuck up by the streets. It's very common.
Zanaya. Everyone, please welcome young Zanaya to the show. From Zanaya.
First off, look at that smile and the gentleness of the hand rub. I saw it before she came out. Watch this.
Zanaya, can I have a hug? Thank you. How are you doing today?
Now, you may not have seen it, but watch this. See, there's a hug. There's an actual skip. Look, there's a skip and there's a hug. There's a skip and there's a hug. This guy, he knows exactly what he's doing. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of him, but he's on to something with that one.
I want you to be honest, because I can already tell you're a smart girl. Do you think you're disrespectful to your grandmother?
I don't think I'm disrespectful to her. I mean, I asked her, like, what's her definition of disrespect, or how I'm being disrespectful?
This is not the catch me outside girl, cash me outside girl. You can tell in her mannerisms, this is not just, I'm nervous to be in front of a camera. This young girl still has a sense of innocence that hasn't been ruined just yet.
Do you think you're disrespectful to your grandmother?
I don't think I'm disrespectful to her. I mean, I asked her, like, what's her definition of disrespect, or how I'm being disrespectful to her?
There's a quiver that's coming right in the middle of her throat, okay? She's speaking from that point that lets you know that there's a little bit of nervousness, shyness, and also it's emotionally linked.
So I'm going to ask you from your own, because, again, I want to go from you. What do you think the definition of disrespect is?
You know, calling you out your name type, and just, like, extreme ruthless behavior.
Calling out your name and extreme rudeness.
I know what she's talking about, because I calls her a bitch. Why should I have to listen to you?
Because
you have
I have
to listen to
feelings
me.
too.
Yes, to talk.
And when I talk, you overtalk me and change it to how you feel.
Okay.
Do you feel like that ever happens?
All right. I'm not even going to play the whole entire video. What I am going to do to respect the content of this gentleman here, I think it said Camaro, I'm going to put the full video in the description bar below where you can go and you can watch it yourself. The point of me adding this video to today's video and just finishing up the last video for the month of April, because I don't know if you noticed, but we've been popping out a lot of videos and I'm going on vacation, darling. Anyway, this young lady is crying, expressing to her grandmother, I'm not who you think I am. And she has said it over and over again in this video. The gentleman pulled up the young lady's grades, 3.01 grade out. She's a smart girl. She comes in at a decent time. But I think what happens is grandma doesn't see the granddaughter as herself. She's seeing all of the mistakes that this young lady's mother had made. And grandma's probably scared and overdoing things and overprotective and seeing her as her daughter. This is the trauma that keeps going on. This young lady is going to have to work out years and years of trauma, years and years of abuse, Because you know what? Parents think, or older people think, because I'm older than you, I can treat you any kind of way. I don't have to respect you because I'm older. You don't deserve respect. No, younger people, it's the whole point of them understanding what that looks like. How do you think they know how to respect their elders? You got to give it to them when they're younger. The point is, research your mother, her mother's mother, and her mother, and there you will find your bloodline. As you are today, who you are today, you're not just who you are because you are who you are. You are a collection of folks. Remember I wrote about that? You are a collection of DNA. You are your mother. You are your grandmother. You are your great-grandmother. You are a collection of folks. It's important that you know that. If you want to take your sonhood journey seriously, if you want to take yourself to the next level, the first thing that you have to do, darling, research your mother, her mother's mother, and her mother. And there you will find your bloodline. In a few weeks, you guys will see all of my 25 plus years in one book that I plan to change the world with. Be empowered, be inspired, and be well. Take care.